Welcome back to another episode of the Warsh podcast. Today, my guest, a long time coming, is Julian Spencer.
Hello. I'm Julian. I'm a student at McMaster University, in my fourth year of commerce.
Fantastic. I've known Julian since high school. We've been friends probably. Did we meet in grade 9 or grade 10, I think? It was.
It must have been, like, we might have known about each other in grade 9, but definitely started talking more in grade 10.
Yeah, I think that was it. Well, thank you so much for coming on, man.
Well, thanks for having me.
With pleasure. I guess we can start off with how's your experience been at McMaster University? How has school been for you these past couple of years?
I think school's been doing me pretty good. Commerce is a little bit of a lighter program, right? It's not definitely not engineering. So, and that's kind of why I chose it, right? It was something that I could focus on other aspects, like social life or something, without having to, as you mentioned in a previous episode, is bite off more than you can chew. And everyone has a different size of mouth, and I think I can only chew so much. And with school, commerce just fits perfectly. So, yeah, I've been kind of enjoying that. And haven't been working during the school year at all, so been a lot of time to just sort of focus on some like schoolwork at my own pace, procrastinate, and just not feel like super stressed. So
that's fantastic,
yeah.
Man. A couple of points to pick out there. Yeah, I mean, engineers, we're just kind of masochists. Like, we just basically accept like 4 years of misery and no sex life in exchange for hopefully 6 figures once we start working. And honestly,
completely fair.
The biting off more than you can chew, I agree with that. And I've learned my limits the hard way multiple times. But it's funny you bring that up, because I just recorded a video today. I've been thinking about it a lot. Is, people talk about, they say, oh, I wouldn't be able to handle this, or I wouldn't be able to do that. I've been a big proponent of not placing limits on yourself. I've started to notice a lot of like some of the self-talk that I do, some of the stuff I say, I'll just say stuff like, oh, that, I can never do that, that's not for me. Well, you don't know that, Mm-hmm. So why place limits on yourself like that? Why? You're basically just acting. You're working against yourself, and you've already got enough shit in life working against you. You don't need to be in your way as well.
Yeah, like it's I always just think about for like jobs, like job applications, how some will be like, oh, we strongly advise you're proficient in Excel, and like if you just kind of know Excel, you're just like, like that job's not for me, and then you kind of just scratch it off. But then realistically, you're making that choice for them, where you should like let things play out and just sort of test yourself, and like not place that limit on yourself. Like you're just you're rejecting yourself, and I've found that limits work in that way as well. You're kind of I guess maybe like a fear of rejection, or a fear of you not being able to do something, fear of like incompetence, and so you kind of just would rather just be comfortable.
Man, that's hella deep. It's almost like, I feel like where that almost comes from is, well, if I just reject myself now, I won't have to feel the pain of somebody else rejecting me.
Yeah. totally. And I guess it's like kind of like Schrodinger in a sense. It's in both a state of acceptance and rejection in the future if you just never let it yourself have that.
Yep.
Yeah, if you never open the box. So.
But if you have to open the box at some point. Like one thing I've learned is, I mean, it was I don't know if you know him. He's a guy named Scott Galloway. He talked about it on a podcast. He basically said like, half of being an entrepreneur is just taking out a giant spoon and eating shit every day and just like being rejected over and over and over again. Because like you have to remember, I guess the only rejection's hard. It's hard. It doesn't feel good. Nobody likes it, but I think you just have to keep in the back of your head that you can ask 100 people. You can get rejected 99 times as long as you get the 1 out of 100. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I always think like your favorite movie, your favorite book. There's always still going to be 1-star reviews. They're rejecting that. They don't approve, and whether it's one of the greatest films or books of all times, like Lord of the Rings or Game of Thrones or something, there's still going to be the haters, and there's just nothing you can do about it. I mean, everyone's different, so.
That's about.
Have you placed any limits on yourself?
All the time, man. All the time. I mean, in some areas, like, sometimes with girls, I'll see a girl and be like, oh, she's too pretty. No way if I asked her out. Like, she must have a boyfriend. No way she'd say yes if I asked her. Like, I don't know that. Why would you, why not just give it a shot? Or, like, even starting my YouTube channel and my podcast, that was another thing where, I kept telling myself, I don't know, I would mull it over and I'd be like, nah, the space is too saturated. There's no way I'll be able to do anything. Well, why don't you let, I don't know, it just depends on your beliefs, whether, God or the universe, or, why don't you let the universe decide that instead of you? Why
don't you let time dictate whether it,
exactly. Why not just give it your best shot, persevere, just try it. Give it the college try, Because, it's really cool. This kind of leads into another thing. I've been reading this book. It's very impressive. It's called Emotional Intelligence, and it talks about, where our most primal, emotions, where they come from, and the amygdala, basically, and it controls, all of these responses, like fear, and how, because of how we evolved as, we were constantly being hunted by predators and stuff, our brain is trained to predict the worst case scenario. But nowadays, the worst case scenario isn't usually what happens. So there's a bit of a predicament there.
Yeah, now worst case scenario, you become overthinking, and worst case scenario is, someone doesn't like your Instagram post.
Exactly. I mean,
it leads to so much anxiety and worry, excessive worry. It's a mental illness, or it is proponents to other mental illnesses like anxiety and depression. And it's not healthy, and I guess all you can kind of do is just read up on it. Work towards building a higher EQ.
EQ is huge. That's something I'm really because especially I mean, you can probably relate to this as well. Guys are not great with emotions. A lot of I mean, a lot of what I assumed about being a guy and being a man for a long time was like, like if you're feeling shit, just fucking scrunch it up into a ball and just shove it way down deep inside where you can't ever see it or feel it again. Which is obviously, in hindsight, not a very healthy practice.
Not at all. Yeah.
There are times when it comes in handy for coping with stuff, but, you know, there comes a point if you want to mature in life where you have to begin to start recognizing and processing and understanding your emotions and why you feel the way you feel on a daily basis.
Totally. I think times where that could come in handy is, you know, like you're at like a family event and then someone says something that rubs you the wrong way, but you don't want it to overcome, you know, the spectacle. And
Big
so,
time.
yeah, you know, you do develop this ability to sort of tuck it away. But in healthy relationships and on, as you said, a daily basis, I find that for me, if I'm thinking about something that I'd done or someone said something and it was taken the wrong way, or I perceived it the wrong way, the first thing I do is just, I feel like a lot of times it's easy to approach conversation accusatorily, if that's a word.
Yep.
And instead I just say like, hey, like, what do you mean by this?
Yes.
Or like, hey, this has been on my mind a bit more. Can like we just explore it? And this has just, it's been phenomenal for my relationships. Like I've, you know, apologized to my mom out of the blue when I never would have done that before, or maybe I would have felt so guilty and just let that guilt like eat me up instead of just saying a simple like I'm sorry to my mom, you know. And yeah, like I've got a girlfriend of a few years, and that's just, you know, it shows, you know, compassion and understanding and just maturity is just being able to understand your emotions and tackle them head on.
Yeah, you definitely, going back to the no sex life thing, as somebody who spends all day cooped up studying, definitely the social intelligence has been something that I've had to work on a lot. Like it's, and it seems like over the past few years, like at university, you've learned a ton about that, about how, you know, about relationships and about, you know, connecting with people and conflict, and, you know, that's a whole another world that I'm just starting to dip my toes into. And, you know, the more self-awareness you gain, the more you look back and you're like, man, I was so fucking stupid. What was I thinking?
Yeah.
Saying this and doing that, like, zero, you know. I feel like half of it is just developing your empathy and learning to put yourself in another's shoes. I feel like that's half of it.
Yeah, totally. Just being able to quickly and on the fly just understand that, you know, I think Rory mentioned it in the other podcast is like, you know, maybe somebody cuts you off or does whatever, and instead of getting mad, you just kind of think like maybe they have a reason for that.
Yep.
You know, it's putting like a reason to things instead of just assuming they're like a bumbling idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, it's just like it's just like a muscle. You use it more, you get stronger with it.
Yep.
And you know, quicker reflexes.
Definitely.
And I think it's funny that you mentioned, you know, you think back and, you know, you cringe at yourself. And
big time.
Yeah, and I think that just shows growth, you know. I think you're just more proud of who you are today than who you are back then, and
oh yeah,
that's great. It's a great feeling.
I mean, it is a great feeling, but like that's in my experience in the past year and a half that I've started doing, like, you know, all of the self-improvement and personal growth that I have, it's like the number one feeling I have is just fucking cringe looking back at, you know, the mistakes that I made. And, you get better at forgiving yourself because, like, man, we're human, you know, everyone makes mistakes, and the most painful part of life, in my opinion, is that you have to live life forwards, but you can only understand it backwards. Like,
Totally. Yeah, totally.
like hindsight is 20/20, and it's such a bitch.
Yeah, I think, and understanding more about, you know, just the past and looking behind just helps you better read the future.
It does.
And be okay with it, because like at the end, like I always think, you know, people will say like, you know, what's your plans, or especially with graduation, it's kind of like, oh, if are you gonna, you know, come back to London, or are you gonna follow where your girlfriend goes and whatnot. And I think there are obviously a few questions that you should sort of get out of the way first in a plan, like whether you guys both want kids or whether you guys both want marriage and stuff. But
Yeah, those are big ones.
with this, when people ask me this question, normally I just kind of say I'm just going with the flow.
For fuck's sake, man, you're 22 years old.
Yeah, there's no reason to stress about what's gonna happen a year from now.
Exactly.
And try and read into it and plan out the future and, you know, provide an answer to that. It's kind of just like, however I'm feeling, and, you know, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. I'll try and, you know, preserve my happiness, but
Yeah. And, like, even those, like, you know, I mean, I think, like, the marriage and kids, you know, assuming you're dating with intention, which I think everybody should be, like, those answers to those questions can change, man. You might not have the same answer to that question when you're 25 that you do right now. Like, this is... It's just, like... It's really tough because social pressure is... It's scary. Like, it's a lot to deal with, you know. Everybody's pushing you, you know. Are you going to do this? Are you going to do that? Are you going to marry, have a kid? Like, and you know... We're kind of, I mean, I read this fucking unbelievable essay, man, about being, it's by George Mack, it's about being, he calls it being a high agency human being. And basically, what a high agency person is there's somebody who happens to life. They don't let life happen to them. And those are the people that they deviate from the norm, you know. They don't. Those are the people that are special because they don't let the social pressures get to them. And I guess in your case, like, it's, you know, everybody wants you to have a plan. And, well, you know, maybe you should have a ground level, like a direction that you're going to go. Man, you don't, like, no 22-year-old should have to have their life planned out, you know.
Yeah, and of course, like, there's always that direction, you know, like, you know, finishing school and then getting into a bank and, you know, just kind of taking it by year. I know that I have some sort of direction, and you know, nepotism can definitely help out with some jobs and stuff. I've got some network, but like at the end of the day, is you have to remember what you can control, and you know, and I don't want to stress about something and worry about something that time hasn't come yet for me to worry about it.
Exactly. I mean, holy shit, man. You're way better in that sense than I am, clearly. I'm definitely...
Now, do you worry a lot?
Every day, man. I worry every single day. I have, you know...
What's been on your mind as of recent?
The future, man. I mean, the main thing is just, you know, I've been working so hard and trying so hard in so many areas of my life, and I've made sacrifices for that, and obviously the big scary thing is it actually going to pay off in the end? I'm also scared of not living an authentic life and, you know, doing things to please other people rather than living my life to be true to who I am. I feel like I'm getting older, which that's also scary. Like I'm 22 now, man, and like I know it's not, like it's technically not old by any means,
Yeah.
but it's like fuck, man, my 20s
No, I
are
had
underway.
that same thought. Yeah, I had that same thought, you know?
It's scary, bro. Like
It
I
is.
just like I was like I'm gonna be 30 in like 8 years.
Yeah.
Like, that's fucked, man. I don't want to be 30. I want to be fucking 17 again, bro. But yeah, so many little worries, so many, you know. Some of them are irrational, some of them are warranted. It's part of life. I accept it. It's part of uncertainty.
Do you think currently you're living an authentic life?
I'm moving closer. I'm closer than I've ever been. Part of it just, honestly, part of that has just been like, part of helping that has just been me like starting this YouTube channel and this podcast and shit, and like I'm just putting my face out there and just saying shit that's on my mind. No matter what anybody thinks of me, that's helped.
Yeah.
I'm definitely.
How would you get closer?
That's a good question. I think I would start by, I have to finish my engineering degree because I've already put 3 years of my life and an extraordinary amount of money into it. And then from there, I need to find a better direction because I know that engineering is not the direction that I want to go anymore. I tried it. I have a degree that will help me get into other areas of life, but it's not the direction that I want to go, you know?
Do you think this degree is hindering you from being authentic?
You know, maybe, because obviously, you know, getting an engineering degree it's a big sacrifice. You lose, you know, we spend so much time like studying and work. I don't think I had anything close to, like when I look at the university experiences that my friends had, who are not in engineering, versus what I went through, very different, very different.
Totally.
And there's definitely some regret there, but it also taught me a lot about how to fucking work your ass off to make sure that you succeed and you make it, and that's a skill that's going to stay with me forever. And I met some incredible human beings, some of my friends that I'm sure will remain my friends for a very long time. Some amazing people. I don't know if I regret it because it taught me so much that it might have been a necessary step in my life, you know?
Yeah.
Because half of figuring out the right direction is by going the wrong direction first.
Totally. Yeah.
How about you? Any reflection? Would you say you're living authentically to yourself right now? It's a difficult question to answer. Like it's a genuine.
Yeah. I would think. Wow. Yeah, I would. You kind of have to ask yourself, like, what is, your authentic self. I think for me, it would just be removing that friction and dissociative properties that you have. So, if you're spending 16 hours a day on video games, but every single time you wake up, you're like, man, I need to go to the gym. And then you just go back on your computer and you never hit the gym that day. That's like dissociative. It's like you're not very, like you're not compelled to better yourself, or your goals are aligned with your actions.
Yeah.
And I think as of recently, I guess authenticity also in just a general way is who you are and your personality, and not putting up a front.
That's huge. That's huge.
And I think in both realms I've gotten much better than previously. I think I hate bringing up COVID, but when I was in high school, about grade 9 or grade 10, I feel like I very much mimicked those people around me.
Yeah.
You see those memes online. It's you're you use friend group A humor with friend group B, and it's
yeah. I know what you're talking about.
That was totally me. I felt very inauthentic. I would come home and I was a different person than when I was hanging out with my friends. And it's not always a bad thing. Sometimes you
listen, there's shit you say with your friends that you just can't really say to your family.
Totally. But it's a different story when you're almost creating this second personality of yourself. And I found that I was doing that. I was very, especially in elementary school, I was very happy-go-lucky. And I never really thought too much about my actions. And now I would say I'm just trying to become way more conscientious of things and habits that you kind of just go by without recognizing.
Yeah.
I'm jobless right now. I quit my job a couple weeks ago, and I was waking up, and first thing I do is just turn on my PC and not think about it and watch some videos and whatnot, and it was just classic unemployed lifestyle.
Yeah.
And I noticed that, and now I'm just saying no more video games before dinner time, just setting that ground rule in myself to make a better habit and just be more who I want to be. And I've gone to the gym 5 to 6 times a week now. I've been
awesome, man.
Drawing more, reading more, just doing a whole bunch just from that one small dissociative change. And it's great. I think throughout my entire lifetime, I don't think I've been more authentic as I am now.
That's fantastic. I mean, you take it one step at a time. I think I made a video where I find that it's crazy. The more authentic you become, the more powerful you actually become. You
grant yourself more agency.
You grant yourself a lot more agency when you're just authentic, and it's a hard thing to do, because when you're authentic, it means people won't like you. There are gonna be people that you might have been friends with before. They might not like you anymore when you show them who you really are, and you got to accept that. But you also might find that you be more authentic, and your real friends, they accept you anyways. They don't care. But it'll eat you up inside if you don't start being honest through your actions and through your words. It'll kill you.
Yeah, it was funny. When I was in elementary school, happy-go-lucky. I'd come home and I was just kind of miserable.
Yeah.
Not happy-go-lucky, and there's those people that are extroverted and happy-go-lucky, and they're like that all the time. Golden retrievers.
Yeah, I can't understand it, man. I cannot understand it.
Yeah, I definitely need time to recuperate and stuff, and I find that I'm, the classic distinction if you're an introvert and extrovert is just if you need energy to recuperate after an event or something.
Social battery.
Yeah, your social battery. I found that as I became more authentic, I didn't need as much recuperation time.
Because because you're not you're not performing.
Yeah,
You're not putting
exactly.
on a show. That's what takes the energy, is if you're performing for people.
Yeah, and it's totally okay to have that day where you're just wanting a lazy day, and that I would see as like virtue. But I think a lot of it does stem from too much performance and appeasing.
Oh, believe me, there are days there are days I've had where it's like, especially if you have like a really intense week, you just end up, it's like you take a sick day or something and it's like, alright, I fucking locked my room, I'm ordering McDonald's and I'm sitting here and playing video games and I don't care. I've had a lot of those days. My friends would joke about it at school. They'd call it turtling. They'd say, "Oh, Ben's turtling today," because I was just going into my shell. I wouldn't show up to class. I just sit there and play video. I've struggled with video games a lot because I love them. I love them so much, man. I love playing games, but I definitely struggled with addiction to them for a while, and I used them as an escape, which it's not healthy.
What's your relationship with them now?
Right now, I don't have any installed. I've decided to take a break for them, mainly just because, I mean, I'm so fucking busy right now. Like, I genuinely can't find the time to play them. Like, it's insanity. I mean, because I got, I've work, obviously, Monday through Friday, and then I'll have, my tennis training, as training for the varsity team in the fall. So I have that, and then I have the gym, and then every day I've got this, the video podcast Substack that has to be made. That takes time because, you gotta record it, you gotta, upload it, all that stuff, and then, throw in all the menial tasks of like, I like to, when I come home from work, like I like to have a shower because I get dirty at work, so like that'll take half an hour.
Just life.
Yeah, just like you gotta take time to eat, and
cook,
and then between cook, eat, and then like, man, just time to like sit and fucking spend 5 minutes fucking scrolling Instagram reels or something and reset. That too, driving like. What I've realized is like, the thing that's gotten me away from video games isn't cutting them out. It's putting more important shit in there, Like,
have you read Atomic Habits?
I started it. I was listening to it on Audible, and then I just did not keep listening to it. But I've heard very good things about it.
Yeah, I think I could be remembering wrong, but I feel like that was like another thing. It's just to cut bad habits, just replace them with better ones.
Easiest way to do it, man. In my opinion, just I 100% stand by that, and it's shown in my life. Does that mean I'll never go back and play video games? No, because I mean, fuck's sake, man. I'm on my 5th playthrough of Lies of P, and I've stopped, but I'm going back to that game because I still haven't got all the achievements yet. I will find time to that. A new Hades 2 update just came out today, which I'm gonna have to I know I'm gonna be playing that shit. So
huge.
It's I'll definitely be going back at some point to play some more because it's just something that I fucking genuinely enjoy, And there's no there's no productivity to it. It doesn't make my life tangibly better, but it's just something that like makes me happy, You know what I'm saying? Like it's just,
Yeah, it's a hobby, right?
It is.
I always battle with video games, and playtime.
Yeah.
I did the age-old uninstalling League, and then redownloading
that. Oh my god, you don't understand, man. That was probably. I actually think that was a 1 year battle. That was maybe even over 1 year battle to get away from that game. And
Yeah.
now, never again. Never again.
Oh yeah, I had a longer war with that than like any of the world wars lasted. Like it's
Oh yeah.
just it's yeah it's yeah, and I get into very intense, 2-week Minecraft phase. Shiny
yeah.
new game.
Yeah.
And I end up just neglecting other necessities for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And a lot of times I'll just discount them. First year of university, I discounted video games. One, because I didn't have my PC there. And
Yeah.
then
Easiest
two, it's
way.
just I wanted to, the easiest way, just remove it.
Yeah. Just remove it entirely. Cold turkey.
Yeah. And then just another one is I wanted a better social life. And removed video games completely. And I always come back to them. And I always think that video games are healthy to an extent. People need their escape, whether that's reading, watching a TV show.
Yeah.
Video games can offer that. It's a
Exactly.
hobby to talk with other people about, to enjoy.
Oh, yeah.
Games are
Yeah.
genuinely fun.
Exactly. I mean, some people it's Netflix. Some people it's for guys, a lot of guys nowadays, it tends to be gaming. Like it's just, yeah, you just gotta have something that you just do it because it's fun and it makes you happy, and that's the whole point of it.
Yeah. And in moderation, though, I would say.
Definitely.
Like, for video games in specific.
Yeah, it's an ongoing battle. I don't know if it ever really stops. I still have time. I quit. The worst one was League. League. It's just it's beyond insanity, man. I could install that game and it's like 8 hours in the blink of an eye, just gone. Like an entire day. Like you start playing when it's light out and then you stop playing and it's pitch black. And I still, to this day, I get the itch. I'm like, I'll just be at the gym or something, and I'm like, fuck, I really want to install it and play it again. And I have to stop myself. It never goes away. It never goes away.
I haven't played for maybe 5-6 years.
Yeah.
And even to this day, when I'm calling some friends and we're doing some like ranked goal or something, and I see my favorite champion,
and you just want to play him, and you just
it's probably the same thing with a lot of addictions. Like you see someone drinking or you see someone smoking, and it just kind of something activates in you.
That's been, my vices, video games and energy drinks. Those are Ben's vices.
Those aren't bad vices to have.
I don't know, bro. Heart attacks in a can are not great, but
yeah, kidney stones.
Yeah, that's not great, but we're slowly working on that, phasing it out.
Yeah.
More coffee, just more coffee. That's the way to do it.
Have you had any other vices that you've had to hurdle?
I never struggled with, I know a lot of young men nowadays have porn addiction. I never struggled with that. Which is good because I think that's pretty unhealthy.
Yeah, it's a very destructive one.
Terrible.
And a silent one too.
Yeah, it's because it's almost become accepted, and it's horrible. It gives guys instant access to basically a sexual partner without having to go outside and find one. You can it gives you a totally unrealistic expectation of what both female bodies are supposed to be like, what sex is supposed to be like, what relationship, it's horrible.
What male bodies are supposed to be like.
What male bodies are supposed to be like. Yep. Big time. Terrible. Absolutely fucking horrible, toxic, absolutely brutal. And nowadays it's only worse than ever with OnlyFans and shit, and that's a whole nother rabbit hole, man.
What about alcohol and weed? Have you had any of
troubles
with those?
2023 was my smoking year, and it low-key turned me into a bit of a degen. I mean, I can safely say that was a terrible year. 2022, like the smoking, I just remember looking back and I was so unhappy. And then I just kind of paused, and at the end of that year looked at my life and I'm like, is this how I want to live, man? This is really like some people, what I've noticed with weed, some people can smoke it and be just like, they can kill it totally fine. I'm not one of those people.
Yeah.
It'll absolutely like sedate me if I do it.
You're like an into couch kind of guy?
Yeah. Yeah, it just turns me into a complete like just a complete like, yeah, nothing. Like I just sit there eating chips, playing video games and watching videos. That's what my life turns into. So no more smoking for Ben, but I'm very careful to not look down on people who do, because that's just a me problem, you know?
Yeah. I mean, it's the same thing with alcohol too. Lots of functioning highs, functioning drunks.
Yep. Alcohol, one I never struggled with. How about you? Anything other than like video games? For
yeah, porn, no. Alcohol, not really. Like, I guess I had like my fun in first year with like drinking every weekend and stuff.
That's just called being a first year university student, bro.
Yeah, yeah, and being young enough to take it, you know.
That's the other thing. Like with the drinking, we can, like, we're 20-year-olds, bro. We can fucking shake it off. Like.
Yeah, yeah. You can wake up with a hangover and not, you know, you can still go into work the next day.
Oh fuck, man! I was out last night. I didn't get to sleep till 3:30 a.m. I fucking woke up at 6:30. All right, boom, let's go. Get about the day. We're good.
40, you know.
No, it's gonna be a different story. But for now, we can face tank a lot of stuff.
Yeah, and I think now, I've been a little bit more conscious about doing things that prolong my healthy life, because there's you know, a long life and there's also like a healthy life.
Lifespan versus health span, brother. Very important.
And I want a much bigger health span.
Yeah.
And drinking, in my opinion, is just you know, I feel like with weed, at least, I'm not trying to say that it's like better with weed. There's not really too much studies gone on and too much that says that it really, you know, ruins your life.
Nope.
With alcohol, on the other hand, there's been countless studies just saying that like no amount of alcohol is safe.
Nope.
You know, one beer a week can still double your risk for like different kinds of health issues like hearts and kidneys and liver and whatnot.
Yep.
And yeah, it's just, so after first year, I kind of went on like probably half a year of just sobriety, of just no alcohol. Not that it was like anything bad, but I just didn't want any. And then now I probably have maybe a beer every 2 weeks or so, and that's just like at a get together.
Awesome, man.
I'm also like into the club scene, so that like that helps.
Oh yeah. You want to talk about a money sink and alcohol problems, bro? That's number one.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of going out and going to bars and stuff. But yeah, and then with weed, I guess that's like my vice now. I probably get high at most 2 to 3 times a week, but normally like once a week. And I'll just take an edible.
I mean,
because I'm all just like about the health span. I don't want to smoke.
Yeah, we did. Oh, sorry, the dogs are going crazy. But I mean, weed for sure is. I haven't heard anything. Sorry, give me 1 second. I gotta shut these fucking dogs up. Give me. Oh. Okay, we're good. Weed is. I've only heard good things, as long as you're not somebody with as far as I know, it's just not an addictive substance at all. I don't think it has. I haven't heard it having any addictive properties. It can be good for a stress reliever. I've heard it can actually be good for metabolism. I mean, the joke is, it's crazy how most stoners, they eat so much, but they're skinny.
Yeah. I feel like it just curbs your appetite, right? You eat a lot when you're high, but if I am high throughout the day, I'll eat while I'm high.
But then you don't want to eat after?
For a little bit, and you just never want to eat after.
Yeah.
You just don't want to eat when you're sober. And especially the day after, if I went to bed high or something,
yeah,
I wake up and I'm just not hungry for anything.
There you go, bro. Fuck Ozempic. Just smoke weed. It's crazy.
Yeah, the safer alternative.
Yeah. And on the subject of alcohol, I mean, in my opinion, anybody who hasn't gone out, had a night out, and just got fucking inebriated and destroyed, you're missing out. It can be really fun, and every once in a while, I think everybody should just go get hammered. It's because it's just a different experience, and you can have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
As long as you're around safe people and you don't make stupid mistakes, but but there's no doubt alcohol is a poison. It's an absolute poison. It's horrible for you.
Kills your brain cells.
Kills your brain cells. It's you want to talk about easy ways to put on weight. It's one of the most calorically dense substances you can consume.
One shot of vodka has 100 calories.
Think about how many fucking shots you can go through in a night. Last night, I probably had 5 fucking Jaeger bombs. Each of those is probably you're looking at 150 calories. And it just goes, it slows your metabolism. It's you've seen, you see people chronic drinkers when they're older, what they just look they look aged and tired and sickly. And the beer belly thing, I'm just not a big beer guy in general. I prefer something a little stronger.
Are you kind of if you're gonna drink, you're gonna go all the way kind of thing?
I wouldn't even say that. I'm just more. I'm a rum and coke kind of guy, Mix the spirit with something.
Okay, yeah.
Funny thing is, I don't think I've ever been blackout drunk before.
Yeah, I haven't. I never really push. I kind of learned my limits pretty early on.
I have no reason to. There's no reason to. Because what are you missing out on? Just a bunch of vomiting and then passing out? That doesn't sound fun to me, Yeah,
there's nothing to miss out on because you don't even remember it the next day.
And, you drink and you start to learn. I learn what stage I'm at, how I'm doing, what I can tolerate. I'm not a lightweight. I'm not the most, I'm definitely not, the most impressive drinker in the world. I can get tipsy pretty easily, but yeah, and on your topic of sobriety, I think it's a good idea for every single person to at least go through a phase, a couple months, and just try it,
Yeah.
Just try sobriety.
Yeah, people are always I'm not addicted to vaping. I can quit whenever I want.
I can quit whenever I want. That's the fucking catchphrase of someone who's addicted. That's only addicts say that.
I don't need to quit right now. I'm having fun.
Yeah.
It's that's why it's addictive. As you did mention, weed doesn't really have any chemically addictive parts of it, but I think the experience of being high can lead a lot of people to be addicted just because
feels nice.
You get Yeah, it feels nice. You get comfortable.
Oh, you're so calm,
Feels so comfortable.
happy.
Yeah.
You just
Stuff
don't
is
have a
just
care in the world.
better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's fun. Everything.
Um,
Food tastes so
mhm.
good.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a huge. Um, I love just saying, man, this food would taste so good if I was higher now.
Oh, I know. Like for me, it's so that's the main problem as well. Is when I smoke,
Yeah.
I'll just I can vaporize as a family size bag of chips in like 20 minutes, and then that's on to the, and then it's like, all right, Uber Eats, let's see what are we getting. I remember there were nights like back in 2023, like I just ordered such a fucking outrageous amount of food and just eat all of it. And afterwards, you just feel so sick and bloated. Like the morning,
Yeah.
the next morning, it's like, whoa.
But in the moment,
Oh my god,
it's such a good feeling.
it tastes.
Yeah,
Like,
it's scary. It's scary how good.
People who haven't gone high just don't understand how good food tastes when you're high. Like they just don't get it. You'll never get it.
Yeah. Yeah, my appetite is twice as much too, so I can just keep shoveling away.
You just like it's just especially like with the chips and shit, the shit that's not filling. Like, bro, oh my god, it's you just grab handful after handful, and then I order 4 fucking burgers, $30 down the drain at McDonald's, and then I'll eat those in 10 minutes, and then it's on to the next day. I don't even know where it all goes. Like, I will eat. When I was high, I would just eat until I physically could not put any food, like more food, in me.
Yeah. Store it in the balls until you can digest it all.
And then you just but you're happy and you just pass out from there. Like,
Yeah.
you've convinced me, man. I need to go get high again. I gotta buy
this wasn't the.
This wasn't part of the plan.
Yeah. Yeah, I think weed at least. Like I grew up on a less lighter note. I probably grew up with a bit of like a food addiction.
Mm-hmm.
And weed just absolutely sparks it right back up. It's really dangerous, and I have to keep being conscious about it when I'm getting high and stuff, to just not, eat that whole family-sized bag of chips.
Yeah.
Or, you can order that like large shawarma poutine on Uber Eats, but just save half of it for tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm always just like, you got to be conscious about it, because sometimes I'll get high and I'll do that, and then I'll regret it the next day, and I just gotta minimize that regret.
Food addiction is one that's not talked about enough, and actually, I can vibe with that one, because I'm somebody who, I struggle a lot with, I'll eat my feelings. Like, I remember back, like, if there were days where I felt really shitty, that's when I'd go to McDonald's and like fucking order a Big Mac and a McChicken and a filet of fish. Like I eat my feelings away, which is not healthy. It's because it's just another unhealthy coping mechanism. Food addiction, and that's the one that's not talked about. It's real, especially nowadays foods are just curated to be as appetizing and as tasty and as unfilling as possible. Like,
they've got the golden ratio down of like fat and sugar.
Oh my god, man! Like, I hate it, man. Like, my mom would just buy like a fucking 20 pack of Timbits or some shit, and throw them on the island, and 5 minutes, man, all of them.
Yeah, and Timbits are
so easy.
One Timbit is like a shot. It's like 100 calories.
And you just I can just fucking eat them. Like, I can eat them fucking 3 at a time, man. And just, like, and they're not filling, you eat all of them. And then the same thing, the chips, my fucking god, man. Don't get me started on
calories.
Chips. Empty calories. Terrible for you. Horrible. Like, zero nutritional value. You could just, and it's like a family-sized bag of chips, fucking 1,500 calories. Like that. Just down the hatch, 15 minutes, easily.
Yeah, easily.
Where's the next fucking bag? Like, it's brutal.
Yeah, I heavily agree.
that's it's a very North American problem. It's a very North American problem.
I think a lot of it as well. Well, actually, I probably maybe a small portion, but a sad enough portion. It comes from like childhood for me. Um, there's always like that, fat kid in the school, and none of that is like really of their own volition. They're growing up and they're just kind of being fed what they're being fed. They're not really
You're
taught
kid,
health
man.
yet.
You're
You're a
not.
kid. You don't know.
You don't know better. You don't know anything.
Yeah.
Like, it's the parent. Like, that's the parent's responsibility.
Yeah, and yeah, I don't blame my parents. I think they
That's big.
both
Yeah.
had very tough times. They were people
Yeah.
too, going through divorce and whatnot. It's
That's
yeah, more than I could imagine.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think it's just like as I got older, just being cognizant of it, and it's I was at my heaviest probably two. I think I weighed in at 230, 5'8".
Yeah.
And just yeah, once COVID hit, I was like a completely different person, just like mentally, and like just who I am now, kind of thing. And yeah, I dropped down to about 160. 160 was probably
that's extremely impressive, man.
my lowest, and then now I'm probably at like 180, 190 because I've been working out at the gym a lot and
Yeah,
just
putting on
being-
mass, like putting on muscle.
yeah, put on mass, still some fat, but I'm happy fat.
Exactly. As long as you're not like.
I'm happy with the fat. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's something I'm always dealing with. Like I've gone back up to like 210, dropped back down to like 180. Then it's all just a journey. Same thing with self improvement, and same thing with almost everything. It's just it's never linear. It's very cyclical, and you just gotta know how to bounce back and just keep your head up.
I don't think people, that was something that I didn't learn until I really started, until I started this journeys. A lot of these things, it's not like fucking levels in a video game where you just like permanently go up a fucking, like these are constant battles that you fight every single day and they don't get any easier. It's a constant uphill battle. And yeah, it's cyclical. You have good seasons, you have bad seasons, you have ups and downs, and that's the nature of life. You have to accept it. Life will never be smooth. It'll never be easy. There's always some new challenge coming around the corner. You just gotta be ready for it.
Yeah.
That's
I
what
think,
I noticed.
For me, I like to think I'm everything I do, I think, is seasonal.
Yeah.
Right now, the weather's immaculate. I'm really enjoying the hot weather because
It's
it was
incredible.
just after a very long and, dreary winter.
Yep.
And,
Yep.
halfway through summer and on the hottest days, I'm just going to be praying for that cold weather again where I can open up my window and not to put the AC on and
Yeah.
just, go to sleep in a cold bed. And everything
Grass is greener.
has... Yeah, exactly. In winter, I just keep thinking, man, I just wish I could go outside and go on a walk. I am very cyclical and just like I appreciate the things. Like now I'm going on walks and I'm enjoying the weather and stuff, and I appreciate the benefits of the season right now.
Yeah.
But I still do want, or I will want eventually that change.
Yeah.
And I think it's just natural. You end up eating apples for a week, and then now you can't even look at one without just feeling repulsed. It's your body. You need change.
Your body gets sick of the same shit over and over.
Yeah, it does, and I think it's okay. For me, I get very like bad, almost seasonal, like depression, like during the winter and stuff.
A lot of people
And,
struggle with this, but like
Yeah.
in the winter. Because
Yeah.
if you're waking up when it's dark outside and it's cold, it's tough.
Yeah, very tough. not enough like vitamin D.
Yeah.
And yeah, you can't go outside, can't go on those walks that just provide you with healthy mindset.
That's
Um,
I don't think I can understate how important walking is for me personally. Like that's my way that I clear my head. That's my way.
yeah, yeah. Antidepressants. I've been on them,
Yeah.
and I didn't really know how they worked until I was in therapy.
Mhm.
And there's a very big, at least for me, I thought that with antidepressants, I'd have to be on them for, a lot of my life. It's not like I'll just sort of take them and get off them and I'll just be a changed man. But what antidepressants really do, majority of them, in majority of scenarios, is they provide you that boost to do those healthier habits
Yeah.
that promote a good mindset. So they're not just going to instantly make you feel
Yeah.
happy and not depressed anymore. They're going to lead you to want to go on that walk or lead you to that apple instead of that chip bag that it just promotes a healthier state of mind. And then you're off them in most scenarios in 6 to 9 months. I was off them
Sweet.
after that time, and it's just yeah, I can't stress enough how beneficial just eating healthier and going outside and getting exercise is. Just 2 hours, 1 hour, 30 minutes, 10 minutes, just do something.
Oh yeah.
Um,
I'm a big proponent of something is better than nothing. I don't care.
yeah.
Like you have to. People don't understand. Like if you take the gym for example. I don't think people get. If you show up and walk on the treadmill for 5 minutes, like that makes it 10 times easier to show up again the next day than if you didn't go.
Oh my God, yeah. Uh,
Like
you had a little thing a few years ago, didn't you, where you were trying to go every single day as your New Year's resolution?
yeah, I managed that. That was last year. I went. My New Year's resolution was an hour a day at the gym. I managed.
And how is that?
I made it 153 days before my
Wow.
body was so destroyed. I physically couldn't, like, on that final day before I took a rest day, I was literally limping on the treadmill. That was all I could
Mm.
do for like 20 minutes, and I was so. That was a little extreme because I pushed my body so, like, it actually infected other areas of my life. Like I was miserable at work. I was so tired when I got home. I didn't want to do anything. Tennis training came. I would just be like I would have mental breakdowns. I started smashing my rackets because I was just my body was so tired, but I didn't recognize those signs. Um, it just led me to like complete and utter burnout. Um,
What would you do differently?
I still like the daily gym trips, and it's something that I've been doing. But an hour a day is extreme. It's too
Hmm.
extreme. I mean, first of all, you can get a great workout in 30 minutes, and a lot of those days I show up today. I went and walked on the treadmill for fucking 30 minutes. And guess what?
Hmm.
It's going to make it 15 times easier for me to go tomorrow and hit legs than if I didn't go. And that,
I'm a huge believer in that. I did that.
yeah. It's,
I do that.
it's these, like, it is literally, if to anybody who's struggling to stay consistent in the gym, like, I can't tell, that's the best piece of advice I can give, is just fucking show up and walk on the treadmill if you don't want to work out. And, like, the power, like, momentum, keeping momentum is so unbelievably important. It's so outrageously important. You, like, just test it. If you don't
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, just like if you instead of not like if you just didn't go for 2 days instead of just showing up, like it becomes a fucking monumental task to go
It
back.
does. It really does. There
Go
was,
ahead, go ahead.
yeah, there's times, as I mentioned, very cyclical my weight, and I had a lot of those prolonged breaks from the gym, and every single time, it's a hassle getting back into it.
It is.
And I've employed exactly what you said. I start easy. Depending on the mood, I'll probably start with just two or three exercises because I'm like really in the mood. I'm very motivated when I want to go to the gym, like at the very start.
Yeah.
And so I normally just do that. But then the next day, you're just like not feeling it. Just put your shoes on and then leave the door and then just go to the gym building. You can either set it up where you can sit in the parking lot. You don't actually have to go into the gym, or go into the gym and like get into the change room. And then if that's all you can do for that day, it genuinely just makes life so much easier. I don't care if I have like a sore throat because I can still walk on the treadmill. I don't care about like, well, I guess it's kind of like selfish if you're going to the gym sick. But it doesn't matter if your arm's a little tweaked and something like that. You can still go to the change room, see if you're already there. You might as well just get like a workout in. You might as well just go home if you're miserable. Getting there is 95% of the battle.
I mean, like, it's a Sam Sulek quote. If you walk into the gym, there's a 95% chance that you're gonna fucking work out. But
Yeah.
That is
totally.
That's basically most of the battle. From there, like, it's just fine tuning and adjustments. But
it's
yeah.
It's really funny. Today I woke up and I was just gonna have a lazy day today. I have like doing a little bit of like just traveling tomorrow, and then yesterday I was hanging out with some friends, and so today I was like, yeah, I'm gonna have a lazy day. Not go to the gym, not do anything, just kind of chill out and do some like art.
Yeah.
And I woke up, I did that art for a few hours, and I felt so bored. I was just like, okay, I'm gonna do my laundry, and then in between my laundry cycles, I hit a workout. It was just second nature to me now. And
Sweet.
A month ago, it was that, just having to get to the gym, go on the treadmill for 10 minutes, and then go back up. Now I'm just thinking, like, when can I squeeze in a workout? Even on my lazy days, even when I'm, like, preemptively thinking I don't want to go to the gym tomorrow, I still end up going to the gym tomorrow. And it's just a habit now, and it works. It really does.
Because what you've done is just, you've made the bar lower, which is what you have to do. Like, you can't have the bar be, I need to go to the fucking gym and have a perfect workout and, do all this, and like, you can't do that or you're not going to be consistent.
Yeah.
Like, if 1/3 of your workouts are good workouts, then you're lucky. Like, in my opinion, I've had like stretches of weeks where I didn't go, like, where I went and didn't have a single good workout. I felt tired, but like, just having showed up on those days made all the difference. All the difference,
Agreed.
That's huge. One of the biggest lessons that I've learned, for sure. I describe myself as an anti-perfectionist. I think perfectionism is terrible for you. I think it's arrogant, and it doesn't do you any favors, because it just makes you more lazy.
It's very interesting. I actually heard a quote the other day. I'm going to butcher it.
That's fine.
And so I'll just paraphrase and talk about what it was about. I'm a very creative person, and so anytime that I'm doing like a painting or I'm doing a short story or some sort of drawing, you get caught up on those little things, like maybe that sentence doesn't sound right, or that you just fucked up that sky, and it starts to eat you up, and you can spend so long working on art and it'll never be finished. And so the quote that I sort of came up with is like, you'll never be finished with art. You'll be finished before the art is.
Yeah.
And it's just, you kind of have to accept an okay product.
You have to. You can't just be
yeah, it's just
continuously, you can't, you just, if you are in any, especially with art, like in any creative discipline, anything that involves like creating something, you have to accept that some of the stuff you make is just going to be shit. It's not going to be as good as you want, but guess what? You have to make it and put it out there anyways, and then you slowly get better and better, and you'll surprise yourself, and you'll put it. Eventually, you're bound to put out a good one.
Yeah, I think. While I like, and while we're applying it to like art as well, I guess it's just like it encompasses, pretty much like anything. You're talking about how your workouts. You get a good workout in 1/3 of the time.
Yep.
If you're striving for that 100% workout every single time, you're just not going to be getting. Yeah, it's impossible. You got to be okay with mediocrity, and it's hard.
You do,
but
because
yeah, you do.
People think that's people think that accepting imperfection is. People think that it's a sign of like someone who's not ambitious, but what it actually is a sign of maturity and humility. That's what it actually is.
Yeah. One of my favorite authors, you actually have a book by him. I was Name of the Wind, Patrick Rothfuss.
Yes, sir.
He's wrote 2 books, or I guess like 3 or like 4, depending on if you count like just like side books and stuff. The first book, it took him, I think it was 14 years to write.
Shit.
Because he was just so caught up in the prose, so caught up in the art of the novel. Amazing book, by the way. What really probably did happen is just diminishing returns. You spent 4 years on it, and it's probably 95% as good as it can be, and you spend an extra 10 to get the extra 5%. In my opinion, it's a phenomenal book. And now, if we see hindsight, where did that leave him? He hasn't made a book, I think, since 2008. He hasn't released a third book in that trilogy. He's wrote like 2 stories of like side stories of characters to prolong that third book, and everybody is upset at him. And it's been like 15 years since he's done something, and it's because he's just a perfectionist. And so would you rather get that book out that's 95% like you and perfect for you, or just 95% good, or spend another 2 decades doing something to just chip away at those 5%?
It's just I think you just got to decide what you want. For most people, though, it comes down to being, you can be an optimizer or you can be a maximizer. Optimizers get the most bang for their buck, and maximizers just get the most bucks. So,
That's funny. I never heard that before.
I like that quote. I think it's an Alex Hormozy quote. But all right, I feel bad. I'm getting extremely tired. So
that's perfectly fine.
We're gonna end this here. Julian, thank you so much for coming on. This has been an
absolutely
incredible conversation. I appreciated all the wisdom and all the stories you brought here today. And
thank you very much.
Yeah, this has been awesome. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you, everybody who listened all the way to the end. Thank you very much for listening. I hope to see you back here again tomorrow. So take care. Peace.